ready, Ferdinand? We wish you a merry, we wish you a merry, we wish you a merry in 12 different days. Hi guys, welcome to Belle's Bargains. My name is Amy, and today is day number 5, cinco, of our 12 days of Christmas, brought to us by Brenda and Krista. Hold on, let me just tell you all about that. All right, it's the 12 days of Christmas, and we are on day number 5. And today's theme is Christmas signs. So thank you to Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY and Krista from Krista's Crafty Life for hosting this wonderful challenge. So here's day number 5. All right, so today's is Christmas signs. Now, before I get into what I made there, I'm going to pop in right here my day 5 from last year, because last year I did the 12 days of Christmas just myself, and I rewrote the words. It's kind of funny, and I did 12 different days of Christmas decor pieces. Anyway, so that was number 5 there. So go watch those. I'll put the playlist at the end too. But let's get back into today. So as you guys know, I'm doing crafts from trash. I would say today's piece is really more of a piece of art. It came out pretty cool. So let me explain to you how we got to creating this piece of art. So Christmas signs, I don't really have signs. I don't really find big pieces of wood, so I knew I had to use cardboard. Anyway, the long and short of it is I broke a glass the other morning. It's what Marcus has his orange juice in, and it's like a wine glass without a stem, you know, one of those little, like, sort of round, anyway, whatever. I broke it, and I threw it away. And then, like, 2 seconds later, I was like, why did I throw that away? Amy, that's good trash. Like, that's trash you want. That's trash you'll use. So I pulled it out of the thing, I put it in a plastic container, I'm like, I need to use that. But it sent me down a creative line, right? Now, when I went to the 22 peso store a couple weeks ago, and they first started pulling out Christmas, I bought 2 of these, and then I broke one. I cracked it on the way home and broke it. I'm not sure when I cracked it, doesn't matter, I broke it. So the broken glass led me down a broken glass thought process, and I was like, wait, by the way, when I bought 2 of these, I was gonna put one on top of them, and I was gonna make a Christmas tree. Okay, so I was like, well, it is green. It's a totally perfect Christmas tree color. It is also a perfect green for matching everything that I'm making right now. And so I was like, well, I guess I'll just make a Christmas sign that's a Christmas tree out of broken glass. And that's what I did. So I'm not even sure, should I show it to you, or should I just let you, oh, it's sticking to the counter because I have stickies on it because I have where I had it. Oh, I'm so torn. Yeah, I'm gonna show it to you because look at this little beauty. Oh my gosh, can you guys see all of that in there and all the glass and everything? Isn't it cool? Isn't it just beautiful? Piece of cardboard, by the way. Yeah. Well, it's 2 pieces of cardboard put together. There you go. All right, let me just show you how I made this. Okay, let's do the dangerous stuff first. So I had a glass that had broken, and so I put it into this little Amazon envelope and was hitting it with a mallet to crush it up. And then I did the green votive holder that I had broken when I bought it. So I've got my crushed glass. Now, I used this piece of cardboard to crush the glass on, knowing that I was going to use it for my sign, but I knew I could just flip it in and have the indentations on the inside. I'm double strengthening this, and I didn't have a ruler or anything, so I'm freehanding it, and then I grabbed a cutting board at one point and made a straight line. But I go ahead and glue them together, even though they're not the same size right now, because it's just going to be easier to trim and get a straight line, and and even the same cut if I cut them together. So this is just Elmer's glue. I put them together, I stick a thing of water on top to let it dry, and then I go to trimming after it's dry. And so what I'm saying here is, see, I can run that knife down and they're going to be exactly even. Okay. Now I've got some white paint and some water, and we're going to whitewash this cardboard, which I love this because it so looks like wood. You would never know this wasn't wood just by looking at it. So it's such a cool effect because you get that. Anyway, all right. And I did whitewash both sides of it just because I thought since I had the paint out, I might as well do that in case I want to do something on the other side. Don't think I will, though, because in the end, this glass ends up being fairly heavy, right? So now when you're doing this whitewash, I have sort of it's a brush that's kind of, the bristles are sort of pushed out. And so just note everything goes in the same direction. That's one of the ways that you get a wood look. And you'll have some areas that are thicker than others. So you don't want it to be exact. All right, so now I'm going to just take a little bit along the side. If I had had some wood or anything or a full craft supply, I probably would have covered the sides. I just don't have that, and so I left it. Now I'm going to take my little brush, and I'm just doing like this little airbrush around, just this little portion of the brush around the whole perimeter of it, just to give it almost a border, but not a heavy one. So I stuck with white. I didn't do a color. And it's not heavy because our primary color is going to be that tree, right? So I don't want to add too many other colors onto this. So I just did this little like feathery brush effect on the sides. Okay, now I traced out a tree on Pinterest is how I did this. And I cut it out. I'm going to tell you at first, I glued my trunk down, and I painted the tree and laid it down, and that didn't work. Like I thought I could use it like a stand. So instead, I took what I cut out and then used that like a template for tracing my tree on using the green paint, which is great. I knew I wanted green underneath because this is glass, and it would give us a green base underneath that glass. So that's why you'll see some chunks of green, because at first I tried to like stamp it on with the cutout, and then used the template for the, you see what I'm saying, and did my tree on there. Now, we're not going to follow this exact, but this gives us the basic shape and the basic design, and some of that little green paint is going to stick out, which is perfect, exactly what I want, okay? Because I know that my glass isn't going to be an exact, because it's all broken up and jagged and stuff, right? So having that underlined painted tree is important. Just FYI. All right, so now I've got my gloves. I'm laying out all my pieces here. You know, I'm going to see like where they fit, and it's like doing a puzzle, getting them on there so I get the shape of my tree. And I love that this glass had the ripples in it because that's exactly what gave me like this tree texture, so I loved that. So I'm using that to my advantage here and trying to get that sort of going the same way almost. And then just plank that piece, like fit over the trunk perfect. I was just going to town, moving it, and this is just tedious. I could have broken my glass down more. I did not want to. I wanted to be able to glue big chunks on and then use the little chunks for my fill-in, which you'll see after I do all this. There's the glass that I broke up, but I only end up really using that for the star on the top. So this is it's actually like a silicone sealant that we used for our backdrop in the kitchen. And so I'm like, hey, we're not going to use it for anything else here. And I'm like, I think I could just use this just to seal down my glass, which is exactly what I did. So I didn't have to buy anything. And I just squeezed them out, put it on a toothpick. And I'm very carefully doing this because this is glass, you guys. So I didn't want to cut myself, and it was too hard to do with the gloves on. So just anytime you're working with glass, you got to be super, super careful. So no cuts. I'm so proud of myself. All right, so I go ahead and finish like laying out my sort of puzzle piece here. And again, you guys, it can go so many different ways, but my goal was to have this really chunky tree. I wasn't looking for a flat glass tree. I was looking for really chunky three-dimensional out of this glass. So depending upon what you break up, it's going to change that, right? So this was really rigid, and it had a formation in the glass, which helped me establish that. Now, I took some shards of the glass that were more clear and found 5 little points that I could use as my star glass. And then I found little shards to add to the outside of the tree just to give a little more reflection. So this isn't necessarily about color. It was more about a glass reflection with some of the painted tree behind it. And so I just put some of those in there. It's such a subtle touch, but if you were looking at it, you would see it. And then my button that I put in the middle of my star. And now I'm taking all the big chunks of glass out of there, and I've got the leftover little shards, and I have shiny Mod Podge, and I'm dripping it all over my tree and putting these little pieces in. So I'm not individually gluing them in, and I'm covering the whole tree in the shiny Mod Podge. First of all, I'm sealing it up. I'm also removing sort of the sharp edges by putting Mod Podge over it. It kind of looks like snow right here, doesn't it? And then all of the little glass bits are just going to add to the shine on this. I absolutely, absolutely love this. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. So I'm just dripping Mod Podge all over it. And then I have to be careful because I can't really brush it, because now I'm going to brush glass shards. So I'm just dripping it. Now here's my sign that I'm going to make. This started out as a tag from a Harley Davidson shirt of Marx's. And when I cut it off, I kept it because it was good cardstock. And there was some solid black area, and it already had like a rivet or grommet in it or whatever. So I'm like, yep, that's what I need. Then I practiced writing my Merry Christmas, tracing my shape, and now I'm just writing Merry Christmas through the paper onto this heavy stock because it's going to indent it. Like it literally indents it because it's a heavy stock paper, which is a really good trick, you guys. Practice, practice, practice what you want to write, and then there you go. Look at that. See? Bam! Now, I'm going to get my white pencil because I don't have a white marker because all my supplies are home, but I have colored pencils. And it works fine. I mean, this works great. And I just go ahead and trace out my Merry Christmas that I've already, indented into here. And in the end, I love how this came out. I think I don't show it, but then you can see in the final, like I did the stitch marks all along the edge. And I went over it wherever I thought maybe it needed a little more white coming through, just to make sure that it was all, that you could read it, right? So, and then added a tiny little berry with a little greenery sprigs in the open space on the very bottom of the sign, which you'll see here in a second as well. But again, this is a great way, you guys. You could, especially if you're using heavy cardstock. The other way is to, of course, run pencil on the back and write over it, and it traces onto it like old tracing paper. All right, and then look at that. See? And there we go. I did my little dots and my little berry. All right, now this is my Victoria's Secret body spray that has sparkles in it. I have no sparkles here. And I'm like, and it's funny because Marcus said, what about your spray? And I go, yeah, I know, I thought of that, but... And then I was like, no, I'll just spray a bunch and use a paintbrush and try and get sparkles onto the star was what I was going for. And then I decided to spray it all over because it really makes the backdrop look like it's snowing. It's so cool. Then I get out my silver paint, and I'm just going to edge the outline of my star to make it a little more prominent. Because it is clear glass, it's a little harder to see. And I didn't feel like just the button on top was quite enough. It was a little too small just to be my topper. So I like how this came out in the end. And I did not add any ornaments on because we have so much sparkle going on with our glass shards, and then spraying my Victoria's Secret body spray on there. It smells good now too, right? You guys just got to think outside the box. When you're doing something like this, you got to think outside the box when you don't have supplies. So my sparkles come in my beauty products. Okay. And then again, so see how you're seeing that slight edge around the whole photo? Because that's it. We're not going to add any more color to this. We're just going to add our little sign that says Merry Christmas. I thought about draping it on the tree. I didn't want to cover up the tree because it's so pretty. So instead, I take, and this is twine from another tag, a clothing tag. And I am like, yep, need that twine because I don't have any jute twine. And so then I just go over like how am I going to hang this on the corner. In the end, I love how this comes out. It's so cute. I think this is my favorite so far of the 12 Days of Christmas stuff that I've made. And it is following right along. I'm going to show you a video at the end that shows my staircase because everything goes together really well that I've made so far. All right, so I am purposely tying a knot that we're going to see, that we're adding to that rustic sort of element of it. And here I fold it in half, push it through, and then loop it through that loop, both sides through that loop. You'll see here in a second. Because that ties my little tag on, now it's hanging. See that? And then we're going to knot that other side and hang it on there, and voila, this is done. Are you guys in love? I'm in love. This is a piece I'm pretty sure I'll keep. I feel like I should sign it or something. It feels like a real piece of art. And it came out so beautiful. So, all right, so there's day number 5 of our beautiful 12 Days of Christmas, and this is my Christmas sign. I only made one because this took a lot of time, you guys. And then we're going to glue it on, cut it off, and this is going to be done. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up on this video and leave a comment, please. And if you aren't a subscriber, please consider subscribing. You guys, I hope you love this. I'll be right back to say goodbye, though. I'm going to glue on my little sign right here. There we go. It's so pretty. I'm so proud of this piece. I think it came out so good. And just all the little details. Like, can you guys see the sparkle on the, it's so hard in this light. Like, there's sparklies on the cardboard where I sprayed it. You can't really see, maybe right there. Maybe. So it just looks like it's like lightly snowing. It's so cool. From my Victoria's Secret body spray. Yeah, that was some expensive glitter. But, okay. But everything worked. And just even like when I talked in there about, see the clear shards coming out of there, out of different parts on the tree. So it's about the reflection basically, and at different angles the way you're gonna see it. So I love this. I wanna just talk about a couple of things about how I made this though, so that you guys, so I can teach you something. So I don't have any stamps. I don't even have any big enough sponges. I went on Pinterest, I found a Christmas tree that I thought would be right for this project as opposed to freehanding it. And I traced it because my thought was I would cut it out, I would paint on it, and then it would, oh my gosh, now I know how I could do it. I'll do that next time. Anyway, I thought I could just paint on it, lay it down really quickly, and it would leave but it didn't. The paper just sort of stuck and it didn't really transfer the paint. And I'm thinking, well, that was kind of dumb, Amy. So instead I took what I cut out, and you saw that where I brushed it in. Worked perfectly, by the way. Just brushing away those papers. And it wasn't that. Who the heck needs stencils? Just make your own, right? Just brush away from your paper. So that worked perfectly. I now know another way I could have done it, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so that worked great, and that gave me my outline for my tree. Now coming at a couple of things that I really want, I'm trying to, as I do these things, teach you guys. So notice that your space here and your space here are basically the same, which means I've completely centered my tree, but the trunk is anchoring it. And I've talked to you guys about thirds or quarters or fourths, but thirds is a really good visual way. I know we're not quite third of the way up, but your main focus is the 3% in the center of the thing. That's what you call a balance, especially in art. Okay, and then my sign up here, I really was torn, like, should I hang it on the tree? Which would have been cute, but I didn't want to take away from the tree. And then I thought about putting it down here. But I ended up putting it up there because visually, this was pretty heavy down here. And so again, we have a balance, and our eye is gonna go from here down. Angles. Your eye will always sort of follow. That's why you never line anything up with the top of your doorway. Like, That's a whole nother lesson. All right. But then I love some of the elements. So Marcus, so we bought him, he'd gotten some Harley Davidson stuff when he got his new bike. And some of those things came down here, still have the tag on him. And of course, since I'm recycling, he wore a shirt and I took the tag off. I was like, I need this tag. It was like, they're nice tags, heavy stock paper or whatever, you know, it's heavy paper. It's, what do you call that? Anyway. And so all the printing's on one side, and on the other side there was all this black, and then the Harley Davidson logo, and then the little Romit thing in there. I'm like, yeah, I could totally make like a chalkboard sign out of that. So that's what we did. And I hope you guys understood what I was showing you about using your own writing, and that you can, you know, practice, practice, practice. Nobody's ever gonna like their writing, their font, they're writing it out the first time. Do you remember when you were a kid and wait, do you remember your first boyfriend and you would write your name and his last name because you just knew you were gonna marry him, and so you'd write your name and his last name until it looked so pretty and you liked the way it looked. That's what you want to do. So whenever you're writing something or you're gonna use your own, you know, you're gonna write it out. What am I trying to say? Anyway, practice it. So I just traced this onto, let's post it actually, and then I just like practiced how I wanted to write Merry Christmas. I got Merry right, then I got Christmas right, and you know, and I was like, okay, that works. And then you could do this with just, you know, I already said this, pencil on the back and use it like tracing paper, or in this case, because this was such a thick cardstock, that's what it is, cardstock, I could just indent in it, all right? So I hope I taught you a couple of things today from this. So again, this is very three-dimensional, exactly what I wanted. I love that. There are some bits that stick out. By doing the Mod Podge over them, they are no longer sharp, right? Like rubberized, I don't know. Anyway, and I may put one more layer of Mod Podge on it. I was in a hurry to get this done though, and the Mod Podge was taking a while to dry. As a matter of fact, I think there might even be a couple little Mod Podge places in there. All right, but as always, you guys, when you're working with glass, please be very, very careful. Notice I used the gloves when I was taking it apart. I wanted to use the gloves when I was gluing it down, but my gloves would have glued to it, and I just didn't have the right pair of gloves for that. But just always be careful. So, all right, guys, what do you think? I'm sorry. Ferdinand. Do you like it? I know. I'm still going to make you something. Don't worry. I'm absolutely going to make you something. I'm working on it. All right, so this is going to go on my staircase. So after I sign off here, I'm going to give you guys a little video of my staircase where all of my 12 days of Christmas decorations are going. We don't have a mantle, but the staircase is pretty cool. And so I just am lining it up there. You'll see. So, all right, everybody, have a great day, great week, great life. If you're still here, please pop a Christmas tree emoji down below in the comments. And I've already said it, but please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. All right, tomorrow we're back again. Tomorrow's snowman. Day number 6 is snowman, and we'll be halfway through. All right, everybody. Did I say it? I always do this. Have a great day, because I don't edit. You guys know that, right? Like, it's just like, bam, record, let's go. Have a great day, great week, and great life. And as always, from your singing crafty crafter, oh, I already sung it, but we're going to do it again. Oh, Christmas tree, how beautiful your branches. This one's a pretty one. We'll see you next time here on Bella's Bargains. Toodles. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Very good. He's working on his English. Toodles. I thought I'd take a quick second and show you the staircase and everything I've made so far for the 12 days of Christmas. I'll update this every day for you, but you can see how all my projects are really meshing together very well. So it'll be fun to build this up.